So hello, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, can you please click the subscribe button? Also, can you like this video? Yeah. Also, in the description below, there is a link to buy me a coffee, to a website called Buy Me a Coffee. If you would like to support this channel financially, you can make use of the link, and you can buy me a coffee. Each coffee is like $5, so you can choose to buy one, two, three, or even more. Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. So today we're gonna cover a video by Jordan Peterson, um, where the title of the video says Jordan Peterson reveals why everyone must follow God. Right. So just to put a disclaimer there, that as I'm doing this video, I'm not doing to discredit Jordan Peterson. I'm not trying to make people not to listen to the guy. Right. I'm not trying to say that, okay, he's far worse, in the sense that he shouldn't be listened to. So I will be picking on mostly the conservative guys when I'm doing these videos like this, um, just to understand their, just to analyze their understanding of God, right? That's just what I want to do. So I will cover guys like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh. I think Matt Walsh has interesting views on God, and other doctrines of the Christian faith. Right. I think I once watched a video with him and this guy. What's his name again? I think it was Ben Shapiro. I can't really remember. But yeah. So I'm not trying to discredit this guy. I actually like Jordan Peterson. I mean, I get fascinated the way he thinks, the way he always jumps on the questions of people. So I really like Jordan Peterson. It's like, apart from the Christian guys that I listen to, Jordan Peterson would be the guy that I like most. So when you're watching this video, just keep that in mind, that I'm purely just analyzing his view of God and not discrediting the guy. All right, let's get to it.
So then the question came to me, do I believe in God? And I don't like that question. And people have complained at me a lot, and I'm sure they have their reasons because they don't like my answers, and I have two answers. They've kind of become stock, which is not a good thing. But they're the best approximate. I can't figure out why I don't like the question exactly. I've got three.
All right. So if it was me, why wouldn't I like the question? Well, firstly, we are living in a pluralistic world, right? Where people believe in one God, different religions, right? So we have that thing going on in our world where people affirm all religions and they don't say, no, 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 the Christian God is the true God, right? They say, yes, Muslim believe in Jesus as well, um, and so on and so on, right? But they don't actually say that no, but we believe this as Christians and we believe that as Jesus. So when someone asks me if I believe in God, I prefer to say yes to the question, but I then maybe qualify it. At times, I would leave it there, although I don't like leaving it there because you do not really know actually what the person is asking you. But let's just continue to play.
I had three sort of burgeoning hypotheses. One was, it's none of your business. That's the first one. So it's like a privacy issue. Like it seemed to me to be a question that was too private to be answered properly. And
I think what he's saying here reminds me of one time when I was in an outreach, and I think I asked this lady because she seemed to disagree with the Bible. So I asked her if she does not believe in the Bible, and she lost it. She got so angry with the question to a sense that she told me the similar thing, that it was none of my business to ask that question, and I wasn't allowed to. I just want to get to the part of the privacy issue and also this, but actually, I am allowed to ask the question, and you are allowed not to answer it, right? If you don't want to answer the question, then that's fine. But it's not that I'm not allowed to ask it. I am allowed to ask it. I have the freedom to ask it, and you have the freedom not to answer the question itself. So I think we have to base it there, right? First, and maybe belief in God, because this is becoming difficult, is to understand what does Jordan Peterson mean by God. So maybe belief in God is private, but belief in the Christian God, it's not a privacy thing. I think we have a great commission that is very, very clear that we must go out to all the nations and give them the gospel, right? So if we have a great commission that is commanding us to go out and make disciples of all the nations, then we can't do that privately. We have to be public about it. And if we're going to make disciples of people from different nations, then practicing Christianity as a private thing, it's not going to fulfill that great commission. So when it comes to the Christian faith, no, it's not a private matter. The command is clear that we must give the gospel to people of all nations or different races and all colors.
So, and you know, you could consider that a cop out, and maybe it is. And then another one was, well, what do you mean by believe? Like, do you mean the words? Do you mean to say the words, I believe in?
How to take a normal ebook from Google Docs and easy. It only takes about 10 minutes using this software.
Sorry about that. I think we're gonna see these a lot. We're gonna be
In
seeing
God?
these.
Does that
Sorry.
indicate that you believe in God? Like, I don't know what you mean by believe exactly, because, and that's got me in trouble too, because, you know, people think that attempting to clarify the meaning of words is an attempt to escape from the question when it's actually an attempt to specify the question. I mean, is what you believe what you say or what you act out? Now, you know, I would say to some degree it's both, but if push comes to shove, as far as I'm concerned, what you believe is what you act out, not what you say. And then, you know, and if you're an integrated person, then what you act out and what you say are the same.
No, I don't agree there. I mean, I agree. I agreed with the first statement that what you believe is both what you say and what you act out. James said that you can have faith, right? But faith without works is dead, right? So we are saved by faith alone, right? That's the basis of our own justification. But that faith is not alone, but once we are saved. So that faith must be seen in the fruits of the things that we do. So we must confess that Jesus is our Lord. We must confess clearly and publicly that we believe in Jesus. And our actions must align with that accordingly. So it's both what we say and what we believe.
Thing, and then you're a person whose word can be trusted, right? Because what you say and what you do are isomorphic, they're the same thing. But belief is instantiated in action. So I have also suggested that I act as if I believe in God, or to the best of my ability. And people aren't very happy with that either. But, and then the third is that I'm afraid that he might exist, which I think is the most comical of the three answers and perhaps the most accurate one. But then I was thinking about this today when I was thinking about what I might talk to you guys about. And I thought, well, let's go into this a little bit more. Let's say you do believe in God. Say, I believe in God. It's like, okay, well, that's hypothetically pretty impressive, I would say. It's like you believe that there's a divine power that oversees everything, that is fundamentally ethical, that's watching everything you do, and you believe that. And so
I don't know if you can pick up the approach he's taking here. To me, it sounds like Jordan Peterson is taking a pluralistic approach as well. He doesn't seem to be distinguishing between the different kinds of religions. Um, because you can see that he says, I can see you believe in a divine power, right? Those are general terms. That's general inclusive language. So he's not really aligning himself. Although the person who's making the video shows a cross, as we are seeing there, and he makes it look like it's a Christian thing, but it doesn't sound like it from what Jordan is saying, or from we are basically listening to what he's saying on the video. Let's continue.
what effect does that have on your behavior if you believe it? Does that mean that are you all in on your beliefs? Are you sacrificing everything to this transcendent entity that you proclaim belief in? Have you cleansed yourself of all your sin, let's say? Are you making all the sacrifices that you need to make? Like, have you taken the...
Okay. This is a lot. Let's unpack it. Firstly, as Christians, we're not making any sacrifices for us. We don't atone for our own sins, which is something he seems to be suggesting there. Christ became the atonement. He became the ultimate sacrifice on the cross itself, in the sense that when Christ, so the first Adam, right, which is Adam, the created first man. So he represented humanity, and when he fell, the whole human race and creation was like fell with him. So the second Adam, which is Jesus Christ, right? So this Adam, when he dies on the cross, he's now representing those who will trust in him through faith, right? So those ones who trust in Jesus through faith, Jesus becomes their ultimate sacrifice. He's the one who's being punished on their behalf. So he receives the punishment that they deserved. He dies the death that they deserved, right? And then he rose from the dead so that he can, as a sign or as an indication that he has completed the necessary work. So, firstly, he lived a perfect life that they could not live. Secondly, he suffered the humiliation that they needed to suffer. Secondly, he dies on the cross, right? He's dying on the cross for the sins of these people. And then secondly, the resurrection then confirms that God has approved the sacrifice itself, right? So we need to make no sacrifices except for that one of denying ourselves, meaning that we fully submit to Christ. Otherwise, there's no ritual or religious sacrifices like slaughtering, doing all that we need to do. I'm not so sure where does Jordan get this from, but I'm hoping. In fact, if I'm guessing, I'm not hoping. If I'm guessing, he might be getting this from the Old Testament because this guy is a lot in the Old Testament. I think he has lectures on the book of Genesis. He's busy now doing a series on Exodus. So yeah, let's just continue. I think I'm going to stop on 5 minutes. I'm going to make this video two parts because otherwise, if I play the long video, it's going to be too long.
Mode of your eye? No. Or are you in the same situation, let's say, that the Catholic Church seems to be in right now? Just out of curiosity, it's a good time to bring that up since the Pope seems to be concerned with what's been happening with the Catholic Church, given the endless pedophilic scandals, let's say, which seem rather serious in my estimation, and might have been something that was cleaned up perhaps 100 or 1,000 years ago, and it's being taken seriously perhaps now, and perhaps not, because it's not so easy to determine exactly what it would mean to take that seriously. And you might say, well, are all the people who are committing these heinous actions and then covering them up, if you ask them, well, do you believe in God? What are they going to say? Well, you'd think the answer would be yes, given that they're like priests, and yet, well, the evidence isn't exactly so clear that the mere statement, let's say, or the mere acting out of the ritual, let's say, and I'm not trying to denigrate the statement or the ritual, but I'm pointing out that that's no indication of you're right to say that you believe, because you got to, and I think this is why it's bothered me to answer this question. It's like, well, what right do I have to say that, to make that claim? I believe in God. Well, what's the claim? Is that the claim that I'm a good person somehow? Because you'd think that if...
Okay. I think he loses me here. I think I get so lost. I don't know. But you can correct me on the comment section below. It sounds like he's saying that you can't claim to be believing in God if you have these sins, right? If you are someone who is committing these sins. And then he uses the Catholic Church as an example, in the sense that there's been cases in the Catholic Church that the priests are sleeping with young men, right? More like rape rather than sleeping with me. May sound like they're consenting, but it's more like rape, a pedophilia act. So those there are allegations, let me just call them the allegations that the Catholic Church does this thing. There was one here in South Africa just a few years ago, of a guy who alleged to have been raped from a very young age. He was given alcohol by a Catholic priest, and then boom, it happened. So those are allegations. I'm not so sure. I didn't search before this if there's been one that have been proven in a court of law. So I'll just leave them there that it's alleged. Yeah, but so he says, does it mean that you claiming that you're a good person? No, it doesn't mean that. I might be paraphrasing the question wrong here, but I think that's the basic principle in it. So, no, it doesn't mean that when you claim that you believe in God, that you're a good person. In fact, the Bible is very clear that no one is good, not even one. For we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That's Romans chapter 1. Sorry, it's Romans chapter 3 from verse 10 all the way to 23. Right? Verse 10 says, no one is good, not not even one, no one is righteous. Right? So when we claim to believe in God, we're not claiming being good people. Because being good people, you will say you're doing good things, but the Bible says even the good deeds that we do are like filthy rags before God. So we have nothing in us that makes us appealing or attractive to God. But what makes us attractive to God is Christ Himself, right? It's Christ, the righteousness of Christ, because now it has been imputed in us. Not that now we're no longer sinners, but rather when God looks at us, He no longer sees our sins, but the righteousness of Christ. So we're not good people. In that sense, maybe we might be good people in another sense, but in the sense that I'm thinking, or within the context in which Jordan Peterson is using the phrase "good people" or a good person, we are not good people, and we don't claim to believe in God because we are good people. You can actually say you believe in God even when you are not a good person. Okay, let's continue. I'm just left with, I think, 18 seconds, and then I'll stop it at 5 minutes. All right.
If you believed in God, actually, like seriously, that you'd be a good person, like right now, because, well, Well, for obvious reasons, I would think. And so, if that hasn't happened in some sort of miraculous sense, so that you're the best person you could possibly imagine being on an ongoing basis, and terrified of deviating from that path in a serious manner, then I don't see why you have the right to say that you believe in God. You know, one of the things Nietzsche said about Christianity.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here. But I think he's raising the standard too high here. That now the prerequisite of saying you believe in God is that you must be a good person. That's not Christianity. The prerequisite to become a Christian is that you must understand that you are a bad person. Not just bad, you are evil. In the sense that you are a fallen sinner, a wretched person who is conceived in sin, right? Who is separated from God, who is by nature an enemy of God, who needs a mediator who is Christ to reconcile him to the living God, right? So, no, being a good person is not a prerequisite to be a Christian or to make a claim to believe in God. Thank you so much for watching. This is part one. I will definitely make a part two for the video. I'm just trying to keep these videos short, but they're not short. I mean, it's 20 minutes long. Yeah, but please hit the subscribe button if you love the content in this channel. And if you like this video, then hit the like button. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description below where you can buy me coffee. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.